That was excellent, man. And again, of course, I'd like to know what the interpretation of the lyrics mean and go through it, But again, just for as a first impressions, what you really focus on is how good the sound signature is, how good the amalgamation of all of these excellent instruments are, the presence of the choir setting that tone, kind of making you think deeply. Whenever you hear a choir, man, you pay attention, don't you? It does that for me. And it's funny too, started smiling right away when I heard the choir, because right now, of course, with the Christmas season being on us, and you hear a lot of radio right now. There's a lot of Christmas caroling and things like that, and Christmas tunes being played. And so it reminded me of a couple of Christmas carols that I've been listening to. And when you have the presence of a choir and Christmas carols, it's usually from a couple of decades ago, like my favorite Christmas song is The Little Drummer Boy. And there's a great choir, I forgot the name, I think it's the Chorale something, the original 65 version, that had a really excellent choir singing that, and so the choir sound is very appealing to me, especially right now. Yeah, man, this was a great track, and 10 minutes flew by. Some tracks you listen to, 10 minutes just drags on for days, it feels like, but this one flew by. All right, so The Isle of Nothing, I'm just going to call it, appears on the album of the same name. It's the third studio album by Italian progressive rock band PFM, released in '74. Like the group's previous albums, it's sung in Italian and performed well in Italy. An English version of the album, The World Became the World, was recorded in the same session. It features the same track list along with an English version of the band's first single. Impressioni, that's the first single that we listened to. English lyrics were written by Peter Sinfield. La Isola de Niente is a progressive rock album which has been described as being more complex than their previous records, additionally incorporating elements of jazz rock. In a retrospective AllMusic review, the album was given a positive review, being deemed PFM's last masterpiece, yet was rated slightly lower than their previous records. Tracks such as, I'm not going to read the tracks, continue to be performed in their live set. The album is a progressive rock album at its core, yet shows greater influences from jazz fusion music. Described as more complex and confusing than their previous records, it ranges from symphonic, rock-oriented progressive songs to jazz, rock-influenced pieces. The lyrics are also sung in Italian, with the exception of the second track, Is My Face On Straight. The album contains the presence of long tracks, especially what we just listened to, being 10 minutes and 48 seconds long, and makes use of a synthesized choir. Okay. In an AllMusic review, Franco Couture wrote positively on the album, rating it a 4 out of 5 star rating, and labeling it a masterpiece and one of the first Italian progressive rock wave's finest records, despite deeming it more confusing than its predecessors and more of an acquired taste. Unquote. Right on. You see how AllMusic always chooses their words wisely and kindly? It may not be the guy's favorite, but he's not taking the starch out of it, especially raining on somebody else's parade who might really love this. Very professional. You guys are the shit, man. All right. So, that is my reaction to this very interesting quad. Thank you, Don. I appreciate this. I think what I'm going to do with this quad, it's going to go up on the Classic Rock platform. You might have some turbulence there. You might have some people chiming in, oh, this belongs elsewhere, and the typical shit, right? It's going up on the Classic Rock platform. I'm also going to put it on the Beyond Classic platform as well, just to do that, because I'm starting to see that there are some people who just stay on the Beyond platform and they don't migrate over to the Classic Rock platform. So it's a pattern that I'm starting to see. So this is one of those really, really cool reactions where both platforms could definitely enjoy it. So Don, thank you very much. This was really, really nice, introducing me to something new, taking me to the outer limits of classic rock. It might not even be so outer limit. I'm sure that there's even far further reaching limits, but you know what I'm trying to say. Yeah, good quad all together, man. And yeah, so speaking of the Beyond platform, I got reactions in the shoot for Francesca, Jeffrey, John, Rhymes with Teeth. That's coming up soon. Forgive me again, patrons. These are the patrons I'm talking to. I've been very, very late and very behind in life and also in my reaction. So forgive me for that. Please don't pester my ass. When is mine coming? When is mine coming? Don't do that shit. It's going to come. I'm going to catch up before this holiday season is through. So if you can't wait until then, unsubscribe. But if you can wait until then, thank you very much for your patience in advance. That's all I got to say about that. You know who I'm talking to. There's always the same patrons, always asking me the same shit. Even when I'm on point, even when I am caught up. What can you do, right? When you live in a shoe, man. So, alright, what else was I going to say, man? Oh, yeah. I just wanted to give you kind of like just a slight little rundown of what I'm going to be up to during the holiday season. Unfortunately, my holidays aren't going to start until around the 20th of the month. I was expecting the 15th, but a number of my co-workers sadly contracted the bug. So now it's stretching a lot of us and all that sort of thing. So of course it's delayed my fun time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to catch up to every single reaction that I owe to my patrons specifically on both platforms. And so before the new year arrives, I will be fully caught up. There isn't going to be a single reaction on the calendar, right? Going into the new year. That's my promise. And then I'm also going to make an announcement about some slight changes going forward where Patreon is concerned, and I'm going to address certain patrons. There are different types of patrons, so I want to kind of separate them and categorize them a little bit more, just to make it more accommodating for everyone. So down the road, if I fall behind because of life and whatnot, I'm not going to get the same pestering patrons constantly up in my grill. When is this? When is this? When is this coming? So I think I've got a solution. Like I said, there are different types of patrons. I've got patrons who have been patrons from day one, who have never, ever asked me for a reaction. I've got patrons who are regular people who ask me for reactions regularly that don't pester the shit out of me. And then I've got patrons who regularly pester the shit out of me. So I'm going to separate my patrons where it comes to that format. So I'm working on a solution, and I've got an announcement coming up in the next week addressing my patrons where it comes to that. And, if this ever happens again where I'm falling behind. What else do I have to say? Yeah, so the Led Zeppelin factor. I am going to be doing the O2 Arena concert in full, just like I just finished doing the Song Remains the Same concert in full. And I will drop a note for everybody on both platforms when that will be. And that's the best way to do it, because I can't map myself down to any kind of a live stream thing. This platform isn't really the best where it comes to a live stream. So the second best thing to do is to just give everyone warning ahead of time as to when the next full album reaction is going to drop, that being the O2 Arena. So that is my pretty much a look at how I'm going to finish off the rest of my year going forward, just so you guys know. All right, man. Thanks again. Don D, you're the shit, brother. Thanks for introducing me to something new. You guys have yourselves a good one, and I'll catch you in another complimentary quad. Peace.